Hello and good evening, Free Enterprise fans, and welcome to the play-in matches of the Fabul Gauntlet. We have two wonderful racers for you tonight. We have nightdew and Smaepdii. Both are at 3 wins, 2 losses, and today they are playing for the right to advance into the bracket rounds. This is a lose and you go home situation. If you are unfamiliar with the Fabul Gauntlet, we will be giving the runners 5 completely randomly selected objectives. Will they be looking for bosses? Will they need certain characters? Will key items come into play? We won't know until they start. So, looks like we got an Edward start. Viddy, what do you think of that?
I am well documented in my distaste for our favorite floor mat right here. Edward, oh god, I hate Edward. I know some people out there invent who like to use Edward swag strats, but nah, no thank you. But at least we have a Sid to go along with them, so it's not horrible. I like Sid to start, and we get the Pan to start with. Heck yeah.
And it also looks like a Sid. And the other thing about Edward is we do not have the spoon flag turned on in this set, so Edward cannot use a spoon right now.
All right, so let's see what our actual flags are going to be. What we're going to, what our objectives are going to be. Although shaving Sid's beard, I'm about that life.
Wyvern just needs a hug, apparently. Destroy the super cannon, defeat Water Hag, unlock the pass door in Troya, trade away the pink tail, and liberate Baron Castle.
Okay. These are all key item based objectives.
Except for Water Hag.
That's still really interesting, though.
Yeah, no character checks. Only one boss. We are going to need quite a few key items, though. We're going to need the tower key in order to get into the super cannon. We're going to need the pass in order to unlock the pass door. We're going to need both the pink tail and the hook in order to trade away the pink tail. And we're going to need the Baron key to get into Baron Castle and topple the fake king. So really, this is going to be a big key item hunt.
Yeah, and I actually really am going to enjoy this. Normally you try to do what you can to double up those objectives, be like, okay, I have to, you end up going, like Dwarf Castle ends up being weighted a little bit heavier because you get 2 bosses that you might have to defeat, plus a key item, plus a character. So there's all sorts of different opportunities there. You kind of have to think of key items and picking up characters and killing bosses as each events. So you have to go to event heavy locations. But we can't necessarily do that because everything is key item based.
Exactly. And we still do have one boss, which of course brings the giant into play. There's 2 boss spots there. And just a mad scientist behind the waterfall, so no Water Hag there.
Nope. Otherwise, these runners are kind of running over each other's steps at this point in time, which makes sense. Water Hag, that might be a little bit of a hunt. Absolutely. We'll see. I mean, it's all about the key items right now. The pan is super interesting, though. It's one of those... I can absolutely see runners doing everything they can to avoid heading to the Fabul Gauntlet to start things out, trying to route Fabul all together at the same time. It's a possibility. I don't know if they're going to be successful. Just kind of depends on where things fall. But I see that being kind of the early routing here.
Yep, thus far our runners just doing pretty standard looting. We're gonna get Nightdew here, going up onto Hobbs, checking the boss there, and seeing what character is available.
And we have a squishy white mage. Porum. I'll take it.
And a Z-flavored Mylon. With Sid does pretty decent damage. This shouldn't be too hard. Mylon being undead is vulnerable to curative items, which we see Nightdew making very good use of right now.
And get some easy levels to start off with. And all right, you're gonna at least open this chest. Not gonna loot the rest of Mount Hobbs, which is probably preferred at this point in time. We don't have any real incentive to go to the other side. We're not really hurting on loot at this point yet.
Nope. And especially when you don't have a source of exit, which we do not right now. Smaepdii here, on the other hand, heading into the ton of treasure chests here. Also, one more boss slot and one more key item check.
Chat pointing out that Smaepdii actually reset out of Porum. Said, nah, get your squishy white mage out of here. I'm fine. Does look like they picked up a poison axe, which is one of Sid's better weapons, actually. So that'll be something nice as we continue on through here. But we have a Bahamut here in Antlion Cave. Super interesting that Smaepdii is not equipping his Sid with that poison axe. Kind of cutting it a little close.
Yep. He does have Edward hiding, though, so Edward will survive this Mega Nuke. And the other thing is, correct me if I'm wrong, I think there's a couple of Star Veils in the starter item kit on this flag, too.
Oh my god. Edward!
Singing that dragon to death.
That's obscene, Smaepdii. That is obscene. I hope when you go back and watch this, one, you sweat through that, because you absolutely deserve to sweat through that fight for not equipping that poison axe. But two, oh my gosh, that's disgusting. Disgusting! Oh, we didn't pick it up! That's why he's skipping all the major, or several of the treasure chests. He's just zooming through here.
Yep, some runners don't think the items are really worth it, so...
I mean, okay. he did. I mean, you know, point to him. He did end up beating the boss. Barely.
Barely being the key word there.
Hey, you know what? This is both of these runners, and I can't believe I'm saying this. Smaepdii and Nightdew, two long-time established runners in our free enterprise community. Both of them sitting at 3 and 2. Winner moves on, loser goes home, proverbially speaking. So I can support taking a risk, taking a gamble, knowing that it's win or go home.
Looks like Nightdew here, not deciding to wait for a visit to the Sylphs and deciding to do Fabul right away.
Meanwhile, Smape did show us that we have an edge sitting there in the Kaipo area, just waiting for that sand ruby turn in. Man, that's tempting if you get a sand ruby.
And we got Baigen at the Fabul Gauntlet spot. Luckily, that's Sid with a poison axe doing pretty good damage. So I don't foresee too much trouble.
No, and he's not hitting Sid for hardly anything. I think he's got some pretty decent armor on Sid as well. So we see Smaepdii continuing to check the shops, which is nice. We have Cure 3s that are available in the Pass shop. That is something that we're going to want to keep an eye on. We do have a Porum, but remember, Smaepdii noped out of the Porum, so he does not have a reliable source of heals. And there's also some life potions there as well.
And nightdew taking down that Baigen pretty quickly. We'll see what the good king of Fabul has for us today.
Memes! He has memes for us!
Woo! Get the harps out in chat. Hopefully that's required, because I always like the harp music.
Now, worth pointing out here, I forgot what I was going to say. Smaepdii did something, and I thought it was important, and then I got distracted because of Twin Harp.
Okay, then I'll answer a question in chat. Get cooped, I think it is. The dwarf axe is a back row weapon, so that can be used to back row glitch a lot of different characters, including Sid.
Smape going back. He is going back for Porum. This, I don't know about this. You know, I've always said once you commit yourself to an action in any sort of randomizer, not just free enterprise randomizer, but any randomizer, you gotta commit to it. If you've already been here once and noped out because you didn't either like what you see or you didn't think it was worth it, you gotta commit to it, because otherwise you're just wasting time.
And we have a blue turtle in the mist cave, and nightdew immediately noped out of that.
We do have the superior white mage.
And it looks like nightdew's going to try this Baron-in fight. Of course, we're just starting with some very easy officers here who are, they're not immune to most status effects, so there are a lot of different ways to take them down, including, you know, just using the old attack command.
Does look like that nightdew went out of his way to kill the officer first, simply because, you know, he runs away and takes quite a bit of the experience with him. Not that this is a terribly high experience fight to begin with. And
Awesome.
more soldiers.
Also, Baron has the worst trained military in fantasy writing. If you take out the commander, the other soldiers will immediately get confused and start attacking each other.
I mean, makes sense to me. You know, if Mike... Yeah, well...
Good use of a mute there on nightdew's side. These guards do know a bunch of status effect spells that would be very annoying, including Size and Piggy. And the poison effect. It burns my eyes. I don't know what's going on with Smaepdii right now.
Oh, looks like he's gonna rest at the inn here. Wanting to clear that poison status and get everything going.
Okay, yep, there it goes. nightdew, on the other hand, having a little bit of trouble with these soldiers. But gets one down, and the second one by itself shouldn't pose too much of a threat.
No, smacking him a little bit hard, but he should have this. I mean, we don't have any Bacchuses. No wine to drink quite yet, and I don't know if you would want to because he is hitting a little hard.
But we do have those sweet, sweet Cure 2 potions.
Gear 2s.
What do you think they taste like? I think they're artificially grape flavored.
Ew, no. God. Why would you do that? No, God, I'm tasting it now. Ah.
Chat, tell us what you think a Cure 2 potion tastes like.
Honestly, I think it's like that sparkling Canadian water that with like the hint of cherry flavor in it. That's just like sweet, but not too sweet, and just a little bit, but it's refreshing, but it's bubbly and.
Crystal Pepsi, that's a good answer. Blue raspberry, yeah, that's a possibility. Melon soda, Jeebus, I actually love melon soda, even though it's the most artificial tasting thing on the planet.
All right, everyone.
And big news, we get a hook from the Baron Inn. So we do have a way underground. That doesn't mean there's not a magma key out there. But the hook seed possibility is real.
I mean, let's be realistic. We needed the hook regardless, because we need to be able to trade away that pink tail. So even if we found the magma key, we would have had to gone this way anyway. So that's at least one key item that's part of our required list that we need to get anyway.
Yep, and meanwhile, Smaepdii, heading up Mount Ordeals, is taking on the Mega Sisters right now, has already defeated the middle sister, and looks like Sid has one of the axes that does extra damage on mages. I believe the Rune Axe does that?
Yep, the Rune Axe does that. So that's smacking quite hard right now. So Smaepdii ended up picking up a better axe other than that poison axe. So saving himself some more time now. I believe that is on Mount Ordeals as well. Meanwhile, we do have nightdew kind of following where the seed is leading him and saying, hey, we want you to go to the underground through the hook cave, and we're going there. Gonna check to see what is available. Bacchus's coffins and exits. What?
Wow. Eblin's shop has it going on tonight.
Meanwhile, we have Pale Dim it can be a bit of a rough spot here.
Yeah, especially since this spot is relatively fast, and because of the back attack, you just have to take the attacks for a while.
Just have to take the attacks, and you have, a Deadward and a silly child white mage. This is not an ideal setup for what Smaepdii is doing right now. But we do have a young with a free Cecil. Maybe free. I don't know how hard Cecil hits there.
I want to say quite a bit. But we have Edward, so Edward can just hide.
If he lives.
That is a very good point. The Dark Knight Cecil fight, of course, you just have to tank those 3 hits, tank those 3 hits, you win the fight. And looks like nightdew was just going for the character and shop check, which it was a really good shop check, and is gonna head out for the time being. Meanwhile, Smaepdii getting through our very noodly dragon.
Firebird Lover actually pointing something out that's pretty interesting in chat is that Dark Knight Cecil can't block your way to the underground. The way the logic in this, it's like Golbez, Dark Knight Cecil, and Vivala's, I believe, can't actually block your way into the underground. So Magma Key has to be available somewhere. Wait, he can? He can? He
Yes,
can't in No Free Bosses. Okay.
Yeah, he can when he's scripted. He can't when he's not scripted.
Okay. Different settings. Okay.
I
And
don't
what's
blame
this?
you. A legend sword. So a decent sword, maybe turn it into an Excalibur later, but it is not progress.
Nope. Well, and this is the Gauntlet, man. This is honestly, unless I'm banking on picking up the Cecil later, yeah, I'd do exactly what Smaepdii's doing. Fabul Gauntlet there is not worth it. Knowing that it's just the Legend Sword, I'm out.
Yep, this is the right move for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if nightdew does the same thing. Especially, yeah, right now we don't have very much AoE attack to take out those enemies quickly. One interesting side note, though, is the top of the mountain is a spot that normally doesn't give you experience, but I believe the alt Gauntlet actually gives you experience if it's at the top of the mountain.
Yes, it does. Because of the way the multiple fights end up going through. It does that for top of the mountain. It does that for the second part of the Baron Inn fights, and I believe the King Queen Eblin fight as well.
So this is looking more and more like a hook seed.
Well, I mean, keep in mind, we do have that twin harp, and it's possible. I mean, I don't know. Nightdew's comfortable. Like, I'm confident he'd be all right doing Dark Knight Cecil after this. But you may just want a little bit of extra experience because you need key items anyway.
Yep, and you never know what's in that vanilla King and Queen Eblin spot, too. Smaepdii meanwhile just doing some shopping.
That girl in Agert, right up there next to the shop, is in my 5 NPCs that I want to burn to the ground. Obviously, old woman in Kaipo is number 1.
Number 1.
That kid also.
Also, Princess Luca blocks me a lot too. Luca, please move a little bit. I need to go see your dad.
The girl in Mysidia? Mysidia it doesn't annoy me that much. I just rarely go there. Oh, wait, never mind. Yeah.
So nightdew about to get the bad alt Gauntlet news here. While Smaepdii is doing the Baron Inn and is going to get his twin harp very shortly.
Nightdew is going on. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's looking for his reset button, flashing some of his layers there.
And it's a city pig. City piggy.
Now it's a tiny piggy. That
Tiny
just got
city-
rough.
Tiny city piggy. It's like a tongue twister. Ooh, not looking good for Smaepdii.
Hey, that
Ooh.
mute was looking real good. That was a smart mute that Nightdew ended up doing, and that enabled him to get through that fight. That Smaepdii just kind of got rolled there, honestly.
It does look like Nightdew is choosing to take this gauntlet fight, though. These Liliths are pretty good for XP. Especially this early in the game.
I just don't understand why the Lilith is considered undead. Like, that makes zero sense to me.
Mm. I don't know, maybe if you just hang out with ghosts and zombies long enough, you become undead too.
I reject those physics of undeadness.
Transitive undeadness.
Yeah, there's no transitive undeadness.
Sorry, y'all, the stream is getting silly.
There's Smaepdii with the silence. So he's in a good spot now.
Yes, this is gonna go much better the second time. This is actually one fight I often use the mute bell on, since we have Japanese items turned on. And Nightdew is through the gauntlet, and that is to get Berserk on Porum, so that will be useful. Oh, it's not. I got faked out. One more fight.
Yeah, double Lilith now.
That's actually a great fight to draw for this alt gauntlet.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because, as you said earlier, these Liliths give a ton of experience for this time of the... Now, you can't life trick them because, again, they're undead. I don't know why.
But that was almost like a little mini grind right there, which maybe will help Nightdew defeat some later bosses faster.
You know, it's entirely possible that he was going into this thinking, depending on what I get here, go do Twin Harp to get some more experience to guarantee that you can get through that Eblin cave. However, after that grind, his levels are probably high teens, low 20s. He might be ready to go now.
Yep, we thought it was foolish at first, but it might actually pay off.
Oh, Smaepdii.
Oh no.
Got hurt again, so...
Oh. Unfortunately, putting Smaepdii quite a bit behind right now, doing this fight for the third time.
And yeah, with his amped up party, he is absolutely going to be diving in. We'll see if he stops off again at this absolutely stacked item shop, and he does not.
I think just went through most of his cash at that item shop already.
There. Yeah, we're almost 30 minutes in, and folks of the free enterprise community, we still do not have a single solitary objective complete. I hope everyone likes nightdew and Smaepdii tiers, because they are both feeling it right now.
Yep, this is a key item based objective set, and we barely have any key items. It'll be really interesting to see what's in this King and Queen Eblin spot. Of course, nightdew hoping it's Water Hag to knock one of those objectives off the list. But what would you like to see there?
Well, we've got a lot of our freebies already out. So I don't know.
I'm gonna go with the classic Wyvern. Classy, tasteful Mega Nuke.
Why? I'd like, you know what? I'd like to see CPU.
Oh, that would be a good one too, actually.
Missed! Okay. That'll work.
Ooh, that is another key item check after we defeat our Misty Dragon friend.
And Mist hits like a truck here.
Oof. Porum does have Blink, but she also has to survive long enough to cast it. Mist does only do physical attacks, so the Blink spell, which gives you immunity to exactly 2 physical attacks, is extremely useful here. The Mist also turns into its Misty Mist form, which does give you a little bit of time to recover, get up those blinks, life up anyone who got knocked down. This fight is doable at these levels, I think, but it is not going to be a freebie. It is not going to be easy.
Absolutely not. And so many people can just get erased. You know, 4 out of the 5 party members, if they take a shot to the face, are done. Sid, keep in mind, on nightdew side, Sid has lots of armor and is sitting in the back row, and I still only think he can take about 3 hits. It's really impressive how much damage Demus can dish out here.
What would really be useful here is the illusion item, but I don't think we've seen any in shops so far.
Smaepdii now completing the Fabul Gauntlet. Double white mage is absolutely coming in handy for nightdew right now.
So it'll be interesting to see if Smaepdii follows nightdew into the underground, or if he follows up on this twin harp. And if there's a magma key behind that twin harp, that would be big.
It would be nice. I mean, I think we'll eventually head there anyway, because we're on a key item hunt.
Nightdew is getting through this demist fight slowly but surely. The question is this time investment gonna be worth it?
Well, it's in all likelihood, it's our trek to the underground. So, unless the magma key is at Twin Harp.
What would be funny is if demist had magma key.
Ew. No, okay. No, I take that back. I retract my ew because it would be incredibly entertaining, A. And B, that means this seed has been taken out of rotation, so I will never have to play it. So I'm fine with that.
Someone should calculate the odds of two seeds being exactly the same.
All right, so nightdew through the deadly mist, and now comes up to Pain Man, and he says, "Nope, nope, just in case, going to save." Oh my goodness!
I do not blame him here. That was quite a long demist fight.
And holy cow, Natara with the raiding party of 23 people. Thank you, Natara, for your support, and welcome everyone. This has been a fun scene so far. We have 0 objectives complete. 34 minutes. We're just now. We have the hook with Pain Man blocking the way. And he's dishing out some damage.
I do think we're going to get through this, though. We just need a little bit of cure on Sid or Yang. And that'll probably be enough to do it.
And if anyone needs extra XP, giving it to Rosa, getting Rosa up just in time for a little bit of that XP share.
Did you know that justice is not the only right in this world?
Someday, you will see.
That was really great.
Cecil.
That is some A+ voice acting right there.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I work on it from time to time.
I just like saying mine as if it's a science fact. Science fact. Did you know justice is not the only right in this world? Smaepdii taking on this Baron Inn fight for the 4th time.
Ooh. You know, he's got some more levels, so we'll see how well he does. I remember back when I was but a wee one, and this game was on the Super Nintendo console when it first came out. A friend of mine told me that if you got to Rubicante and Rosa was at a high enough level that you learned float, you would float over that pitfall and get all the crystals right there and beat the game.
Oh man, I remember back before the internet and game rumors.
I was slightly salty after I did that grind, and it didn't work.
But the rumor about using warp at Dwarf Castle, that was true.
That was absolutely true. I don't ever recall not doing that. Meanwhile, we have nightdew, absolutely, step 1, gonna go smack Young with a pan that we got right off the bat. But Smaepdii is ultimately the people's champion tonight.
Get your herps out in chat. It's music time. Since we are on the RPG Limit Break channel, if you are new to this randomizer, we have a super awesome Easter egg baked into this randomizer. We got a little bit bored of the harp music that Edward normally plays to annoy the Dark Elf and turn him into his true form. So that song has been randomized. We have, oh my gosh, dozens and dozens of covers of various pop culture music, all done in a lovely harp arrangement. And let's see what we get from Rydia's mother.
Pass! Hey, we needed that!
Heyo! Well, that puts us a long way towards doing objective number 3. I don't see anyone doing that until they're ready to go fight Zeromus, but you now have the ability. But anyway, I'm going to be quiet for a bit and let you all listen to the lovely music.
Ew, and it's Golbez to go along with our FF7 music.
Also, Sheila unfortunately did not have the goods today. She only had some equipment, a Leviathan summon and a shirt for us today, so no progress there.
Yeah, but it was a white shirt, and we do have a couple of white mages, so sure.
And also finding a mom bomb in the dwarf castle. The big dangerous part about the mom bomb is actually when it explodes into 6 and you have 6 different monsters attacking you. But we do have a back row Sid with pretty good armor. So this does seem doable.
It seems doable. This would not be that difficult unless it came down to that. Like, the problem with Mom Bomb, and help me out here, kind of nerdy housewife, is whoever, like, Mom Bomb has naturally more HP, so it gets a spot, but then it has increased HP because of weird mechanics before it even splits. Isn't that right?
Yeah, I don't know all the details of it. I'd have to, but I know it does so you can't defeat it in the baby bomb form. Because this boss has 3 forms. It has the single bomb, the explode, and then the 6 bombs. And I think there's trouble when you defeat it in the baby bomb form. So they changed that, but I'm not as sure the exact numbers and algorithm behind that. If anyone in chat knows, let us know.
See, we just talk about this game. We're not experts. Like, we're numbers? Pfft. Who cares about numbers? It's an RPG, right?
Hey, if we were that good, we would be playing in the races.
Hey, that being said, I do want to promote, while we're going through this particular fights with these two, and they're going to be a little bit longer fights, this Thursday at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, there is going to be a race for all of those who aren't in the Fabul Gauntlet run, for those people who either got eliminated at some point or couldn't make it. It's going to have lots of featured folks. So if you are interested in running Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise yourself, you should absolutely join us over on the Discord and sign up. Get ready for this Thursday special edition community race where we're going to race the same flags with a twist. Things like Edward can equip the spoon and deal all sorts of crazy damage.
And nightdew is almost through this mom bomb fight. Once again, those blink spells coming in really big handy, nullifying the physical attacks of those 6 bombs.
Golbez does go down. Whew, that was a rough fight. Smaepdii clutches it out, though. Nightdew also getting through the mom.
Yeah, that was a tough one. Good job to Smaepdii. And Iridia. Throwing away the Edward, which not too surprising. And we have a Rubicante, not the water hag we are looking for.
Hey, and we have a vanilla earth crystal. So, you know, why not? Let's follow this rabbit hole. Let's keep diving down here.
Especially since the Black Chocobo puts you right back by Troya. I still haven't figured out how to pronounce it.
I think it's Troya. Smaepdii's like emotionally invested in getting Rosa at this point.
Must get his revenge. On these Kaipo guards.
Meanwhile, Rubicante does go down. So nightdew is going to show us what key item Luca is wearing as a necklace. This could be, we'll see. We shall see.
Of course, we're still looking for that pink tail. We're still looking for that Baron key, and we're still looking for that tower key. We will need all of those to complete this seed.
Rat tail. That is the worst necklace on the face of the planet. Let me tell you something. Gentlemen, do not ever give your daughter a rat tail to wear around her neck. That's just gross, dude. Like, seriously.
That just seems like it'd be unacceptable even in dwarven society.
You would think. But nightdew is going to go ahead and turn in that rat tail. We will eventually have to come back here anyway, so might as well come over here, turn the rat tail in, because we're going to need everything over here for the pink tail and magma key.
Wah.
It's another key item. You know, we're sitting at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 key items at this point in time. Yep, not bad. We're getting close to that.
One of the grind reduction mechanisms that this randomizer has is once you reach 10 key items, your experience for every single battle doubles. Free Enterprise actually has a lot of nice features that reduce grinding. This week's Seed of the Week has those turned off, and it really makes me appreciate the anti-grinding features we have. So nightdew looting the dwarven castle, taking all of their goods, while Smaepdii here very close to finally getting revenge on these guards that have been blocking him all seed.
Cerberus, pass doesn't count for experience boost from 10 keyed items, does it? Yes, it does. If you mark it as a key item, like if you collect it as one of the key items, it absolutely counts as a key item. If you like find it in the shop, it doesn't. That's wrong. Okay. I'm
I
wrong.
was
I'm absolutely wrong. I'm
I
sorry.
wasn't 100% sure, so I didn't say anything.
I could have sworn I'd seen it. So, I've been corrected. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, and no seed validation that I saw. So one of the other Easter eggs we have in this randomizer is there's a dwarf in the treasure room, and in the original game, he is a farmer. But in the randomizer, we randomize his occupation every seed. But it is not required, and this is a win and you're in situation, so I don't blame Nightdew for skipping it.
Nope, not at all.
But meanwhile, we're gonna go check on the Fey March, also known as the Land of the Summoned Monsters. There is a free key item check just hanging around in a treasure chest here. And there is also the Leviathan spot and the Ashura spot, either of which could contain our required water hag. And those spots also produce key item checks if you defeat them.
Question in chat that I will answer since we check this key item. Darkness Crystal Moon is unlocked. Simbu does ask, what put Smaepdii so far behind? It's hard to pinpoint anything other than getting hung up on the Baron Inn boss. Those bosses really kind of gave him a hard time, and he spent quite a bit of time doing those, as well as he struggled a little bit with the Mount Ordeals bosses as well. So if anything, that was it. But keep in mind, he's also done Twin Harp, so that's the Earth Crystal, so he's got that done yet.
And we have Vivalis and CPU, not a friendly Ashura and Leviathan combo today. And Nightdew agreeing with that sentiment and immediately exiting.
That seems smart. And he is immediately... We're going to turn in this Darkness Crystal, ladies and gentlemen, and other folks in the randomizer community. It looks like we're going to the moon now.
Yep, there are a grand total of 6 boss checks on the moon. Are any of those our water hag? We don't know. Each of those boss spots also being associated with a key item check, and we are still looking for the pink tail. We are still looking for the Baron key. We are still looking for the tower key.
There's so many key items that we are still looking for right now. It's a little bit ridiculous. It absolutely makes sense. You're like, I need this many key items. The moon has a bunch. Let's go. You're likely to get some sort of reward from the moon. It would be inconceivable to not get anything from the moon. Now, I say that in an effort to jinx it because I want a nice tight race. We are hoping at this point, for Smaepdii's sake, that something is buried beneath that Earth Crystal somewhere up in Tower of Zot. 2 bosses, a key item, 2 characters. We don't necessarily need the characters, although Edward is kind of dead weight at this point in time. But 2 bosses and a key item.
And we have sirens in the Hummingway shop. So that is going to be great. There are several grind options up here on the moon for which summons are incredibly useful. Or sirens. You summon a siren which summons a pack of monsters? I'm going with that.
All right, who's our moon person today?
Dun, da, da, da.
It's a lunar trader.
Well, if we have to do that Vivalis spot in the underground.
That's probably what nightdew is debating. He's like, yeah, let's ditch Rydia because just in case, you probably want to consider that because he had a Leviathan that he taught her, which could make it awesome, but you always are going to be a little bit nervous about that Vivala's good information that he got earlier. But yeah, that's too bad having to ditch Rydia.
He does also have a Gungnir spear too, so that helps Kane out quite a bit. And Smaepdii shortly will be making... Oh, nope. I was wrong. Taking the Mad Ogre fight for some EXP here. With the Rune Axe on Sid, which we know he has, this shouldn't be too bad, and is worth a decent amount of experience, which will probably help him get through the boss fights down here.
I think his Edward also has mute arrows, which, yeah, because and this is a rumor. I'm almost guarantee I'm going to get corrected on this at some point. However, I'm told that Mad Ogres is actually a mistranslation. Like it was supposed to be Mage Ogres, which is why all like mute arrows and axes always do well there. So,
well, actually,
I knew it. I was going to be corrected.
So I actually looked this up because my husband's learning Japanese, so he helped me with everything. In the original Japanese, they are called Basa Oga. So Oga is definitely ogre. And we had to do some digging, but Basa is a common Japanese abbreviation for the Berserker class. So they are actually Berserker ogres. Which explains why they hit so hard and do nothing but attack. Why are they weak against mage gear? I have no idea. Maybe it was just a programming thing.
So, what we've learned today is that I know nothing. And I'm fine with that.
Well, much like, it's okay, just think of it like that time you thought you could use float over the pitfall.
I was 8.
No, I actually really love the art of and I actually was so curious about that, I looked it up. Yes, Ventasu, they could be white mages who cast Berserk on themselves. That is a possibility.
So Smape resets out of that fight and also finds a very angry demon.
Yep, not Smaepdii's day today. Unfortunately, taking a lot of slightly underleveled, which is unfortunately putting him further and further behind. Meanwhile, while we were talking about translations, nightdew is using those sirens we saw earlier to do a less common grind, the warlock grind. These warlocks give quite amount of experience, and they are vulnerable to hourglasses. Once again, they are also a mage type. Sid has that rune axe, so he's tearing through these pretty good.
Yeah, Get Cooped makes a decent point in chat. This is the point. If you're any sort of speedrunner, randomizer, regular speedrunner of any type, if you make one mistake, two mistakes, three mistakes, like each successive mistake gets you more and more on edge. So your mentality as you're going through these races, as you're trying to figure out, okay, what do I have to do? What do I have to do? And it increases the likelihood of additional mistakes even further. It's kind of that state that people talk about being tilted, and I can absolutely see Smaepdii being tilted right now because he doesn't necessarily know what to do. He's kind of beating his head against a wall, seemingly at this point in time. He is absolutely in that state where frustration is mounting, and there's going to be probably some more mistakes that he ends up making unless he can kind of calm himself down, take a deep breath, and refocus himself.
Yep, I've been in that state myself. Sometimes, even if it costs a little time, just take a moment, breathe in, breathe out. Okay, what am I going to do? I also, much like Smaepdii, sometimes you just get that tunnel vision too of that. I know I could do this if I just try hard enough, but randomizer racing is something where sometimes you just have to let stuff go. Like, even if you can do it, it's just going to take too much time to do it. And once again, the added pressure of a you lose and you're out, which is what this is, and that pressure can get to you.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, it can get to you. More so than this, because this is a win or go home match. Like, you can get to a point where, if it's a regular tournament match and you're like, oh, well, I'm playing for seeding, or, well, I'll just have to make it up. Nah, this is win or go home. And these are both excellent runners that had unfortunate losses earlier in this tournament. So they're in the unfortunate position of being win or go home. Honestly, both of these two, I would say, have the pedigree and the experience that I would not have been surprised for this to be like a Final Four sort of matchup at some point, and not a play-in match sort of matchup.
And we find the evilest of walls. Look at those teeth. They're so evil. This is another fight where having multiple blink casters is going to come in handy here. But this evil wall being extremely rude, taking out his blink caster, and yeah, Nightdew's not going to do that right now. Oh, or maybe he'll go right back in.
No, he's going to another one. Going to Optimum, which I think this is going to be a pretty hard-hitting... Oh, wow, that's not a bad Optimum.
Nope, Octomum's big mechanic. The more you hit the octopus, the slower it gets. So once you can get in a few strikes here, this boss becomes not very threatening at all. Once again, you got those blink casts. Octomum only does physical attacks. So I feel like Nightdew's not going to have any problem here.
Keep in mind, folks, Smaepdii is absolutely behind, quote unquote, right at the moment. And I'm sure he feels it. But it's worth noting, it's over an hour into this race. We still have zero, none, nada, zip, zilch, no objectives complete whatsoever.
We do have one pass, which would do objective number 3, but there's no reason to do that until we're going to visit Zeromus anyway. But yeah, we haven't found a tower key. We have not found a water hag. We have not found a pinktail, and we have not found a Baron key. We are basically 1 for 5 right now.
It is obscene, honestly. I mean, it's we're at the point where we're looking at a long seed here. I mean, we may hit the 2-hour mark, which it's been a while since I've seen a seed hit the 2-hour mark, but it's entirely possible with how things are setting up. We might be looking at 17 to 17. All it takes is keep in mind we need the tower key, water hag, pinktail, and Baron key. So we're still looking for 4 events effectively right now. Anything could be behind Earth Crystal, which Smaepdii has and nightdew doesn't.
Yep.
And there's an Excalibur, which is really worthless right now for nightdew.
Yeah, because we have seen hide nor hair of Cecil. Neither hide nor hair, because that would imply we saw his hide, but we didn't. English is difficult.
I mean, Rose has seen his hide.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Oh my. Mature filters are off right now. Keep it PG.
Okay. Smaepdii is putting in all the work right now on these mad ogres.
Has gotten off like a ton of life glitches on the first 3, but it's gonna be hard if this does not go well.
Oof. Antlion at the nope rope spot.
Ouch.
Well, one of the he hits. He hits hard.
Well, luckily this isn't the fastest spot, and once again we have double blink casters. Antlion only doing physical attacks with Yang's power ability and Kane's jump. That will avoid the counter attack. So once again, I feel like this is doable with nightdew's current team, but also won't be easy.
Woo! Smaepdii gets through that and gets all the experience. Holy mackerel. So many levels. I think he's going to be fine now.
But the question is, can he catch up? Because now he's going to go back, save. Both Dark Knight Cecil and Miss Dragon should be fine. But can he catch up? That's the real question. Yes, the Sid. That grind took years off. I was really scared at the end there.
It's fine. I mean, knowing what we know, we still don't have anything. If Smaepdii, and this is the thing about any sort of randomizer, it is as much about what your opponent doesn't do as what you do. So in this sort of case, if Smaepdii follows exactly where nightdew has been, then he's going to be in trouble. But Smaepdii has other options. He can't necessarily see what nightdew has done, but he probably knows he's behind right now. You feel it once you're in that position and you finally get that grind come and you get a win. You're like, okay, I'm behind. What can I do to catch up? You start having to make those low percent gambles. You get the darkness crystal and you say, nightdew probably went immediately up to the moon. You turn around and you start doing things here on Earth, like the Earth crystal. I imagine that's what Smaepdii is going to end up doing as soon as he ends up seeing that darkness crystal in a very accessible location.
And thank you, Dusty Griff, with rating with a party of 6. The story so far is we have found nothing. Of our 4 objectives, we only know where 4 objectives. Of our 5 objectives, 4 of them, we have no idea where they are.
And the 5th one, we don't want to worry about for a little bit.
Yep, nightdew taking it slow and steady, just like their demist fight earlier, getting those blinks up, keeping his character's HP topped off. This isn't a speedy fight, but just that slow and steady chipping away.
That's interesting. I didn't know that the Antlion's counter attack would go through image, because it is. It's not hitting for a ton, which is nice.
Yep, once I did notice that once nightdew saw the counter didn't hit for much, decided to stop using the special attacks on his characters and just berserk them up.
Simbu with the hot knowledge in chat saying it's a magic attack based on physical damage, which, yeah, early 1990s coding for the Super Nintendo, ladies and gentlemen, and other folks. Wonderful.
I mean, I don't blame them. This was the very first game with an active time battle system, and they were just figuring it out. It's hard to be the best when you're the first. And there we go. Antlion is down. Let's see if we get one of our 3 needed key items here.
Nope! But the White Lance. It's a White Lance and you have a cane. I'll take it.
Once again, also going to be useful if we have to do that Vivalis fight down in the Fey Marsh. Which nightdew will have the levels to do after clearing out the moon here. But we are still at none of the key items we need. We have not seen any water hag. Where is it hiding? My guess, so my theory, is that it's all hiding down behind those ugly bosses in the King, or the Leviathan and Ashura spot. That's my conspiracy theory. Now that he has a few more levels from all of those other moon boss fights, gonna take on this evil wall again. Once again, it's still not easy though. That evil wall hitting pretty hard.
Gonna do what you gotta do. I mean, he's got a couple more levels in a little bit better position at this point in time, so not as bad, but yeah, so many blink strats. Double white mages with all the blink strats right now across both screens, realistically. I honestly feel like we need to put an epilepsy warning on the stream at this point because of all the blinks.
It is. It has been the night of the blinks. This has been the blink seed. Oh, I shouldn't make this joke, but do you think we're up to 182 blinks?
Oh.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna get banned from the stream. RPG Limit Break's gonna be like, kinda nerdy housewife, you are banned.
So that hits me in my late 90s pop punk heart. Oh my god.
Oh, I'm getting booed off the stream.
A pun that you have to think about. You're like, wait. I think this is supposed to be funny. And then you realize it is funny.
I mean, I could have gone with blink and you'll miss it, but that one's out.
No, keep... You did wonderfully there. Don't ever change who you are.
Randomize a new commentator. Thanks, Pepita.
Smape finally downing D-Mist. Way to go, Smaepdii. And wisely going back to the safety save. I think he's in a pretty decent position right now. He'll be able to survive based on the amount of damage that we saw Pain Man deal nightdew at that point in time.
Yep, this evil wall, though, getting uncomfortably close to nightdew's party. How many of you in chat were totally stressed out by this boss the first time you played this game?
I'm raising my hand right now. You can't see it, but you know.
When I first played this game as a kiddo, I know Calcabrenna, the dolls, freaked me out the most, but Evil Wall was the close second.
I honestly don't think I actually fought the evil wall until like I'd already owned the game for a couple years and warp glitched around the evil wall every single time. Like I just thought that's what you were supposed to do initially.
Yeah, unfortunately, my family was pretty late internet adopter, so I didn't know about that until much, much later.
Nah, I had to get with the Nintendo Power, and there's the tower key on Nightdew's end.
Woo! We finally have a path to our second objective.
Oh my god, we're an hour. We're almost an hour
An
15
hour
in.
13 in.
So we know the moon is required at minimum.
We'll see. I will not be surprised. Generally, when one goes to the moon, one full clears the moon, so I imagine nightdew will check Cave Bahamut while we're here, too. But right now, going to the Vanilla Wyvern spot. And let's see what this boss is. And Smaepdii finally making it to the underground. But unfortunately, pretty far behind at this point. Hopefully, he makes some good routing decisions. Unfortunately, going to visit the Sylphs, we know that Sheila does not have any goods for us today.
No, it makes sense. It's common sense routing at this point in time. Although, again, knowing that this is an elimination match, if I were Smaepdii, I would absolutely start gambling here because you gotta. I think at some point you absolutely have to gamble, knowing that you struggled to get through some certain parts. You know, Baron in, and then right there in the tower, you got to start gambling. I'm thinking Earth Crystal is looking very attractive right now. He's probably going to go down here to the Land of Summon Monsters. No, he's going to make me a liar and turn in the pan. Hey. But he's going to find the Darkness Crystal once he goes to the Land of Summon Monsters. And then he's probably going to figure out nightdew probably went to the moon. That's when he's got to make those other gambles.
Yep, nightdew having a little trouble with Ogopogo here because this is a pretty rude spot for this boss. This spot is pretty fast. And the blinks aren't going to work here, so... Well, he does do physical attacks, so I am factually incorrect, but...
Now help me out here. The Wyvern spot doesn't do any sort of countdown, so he just kind of boom, nuke, and deal with it. And Kane's dead. So I was wondered if there is a countdown, that each countdown would be an attack, but I don't know. Not relevant for this spot.
Yeah, I don't know the actual agility stats or anything. I just know when I see her, it feels like they're fast. I have no scientific proof of that. It just feels like it to me. I'm sure someone knows the actual numbers.
Well, and right now, nightdew is struggling a bit with this nope rope here at the Bahamut spot. Every death, every reset is giving Smaepdii extra time to catch up. I mean, that's good news. We'll see if it leads to anything. If this ends up being required, then erg. Inven with the puns. It's not the nope rope, it's the hope rope for Smaepdii. I had to say that one out loud, Inven. That was too good not to say out loud.
Nightdew, having two white mages here does help heal up from those big waves. Oh, but those physical attacks are hurting too, and it's hard for your white mages to heal and cast Berserk at the same time.
Smaepdii might be making the play. He's got the Earth Crystal. He's checking the chests up here, which is an awesome check. I imagine he'll be going right up to Tower of Zot here directly, which is amazing. He gets a cursed ring as well.
Ooh, always useful. For those who don't know, the cursed ring decreases all your stats, and you're like, heck, why would I equip it if it decreases all my stats? But because this was the first active time battle game mechanics system, they actually based the agility. Agility anchoring. How do I even explain it? The agility is proportional to, with our current flag set, whoever is in the middle of the party. So the agility of the other enemies is going to be based on that. The math is kind of hard to explain, but the basic idea is if the enemy has high agility, you want the person in the middle to have low agility, and vice versa. Because your other 4 party members who are not in the middle will get more turns relative to the enemy. The cursed ring allows you to manipulate your agility, which can help with that. That was not my cleanest explanation. I apologize.
If the person in the middle has low agility and everyone else has high agility, you'll get more attacks per attack that the enemy has, making it seem like you're faster, which, it's sorcery. It's all it comes down to. It's sorcery.
It math. But nightdew getting through that rope and only obtaining a defense sword. A nice item for Kane, but, and say it with me, it's not progress.
How disappointed do you think nightdew is in that defense sword?
Thank you, Moonblaze Wolf. I've explained agility anchoring. It's not my most elegant explanation. Also, Moonblaze Wolf, I can't believe it's not progress. So, having only one boss to go here in the lunar basement, as I like to call it, the subterrane, I believe is its official name.
Here we go to the lunar subterrane. Okay, never.
Works for me. And meanwhile, Smaepdii, we are seeing the Tower of Zot for the first time, stumbles upon Ashura. This shouldn't be too bad. I don't think his white mages have wall yet, unfortunately. I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, I don't think his white mages have wall yet. No.
And we find Odin.
Yeah, Odin's not bad for this spot. It's roughly in line with how bad Odin is normally. I think the roughest part about this spot is the fact that we have no black mages, so we have no lightning spells.
Yep, if you have any sort of lightning element here, Odin goes down quick. Even if Yang has a lightning claw, it goes so much faster. Oh, we'll see how bad. I think we're gonna get a sword slash here. We'll see how bad it hurts.
Yeah, it's coming down. I mean, Sid's got quite a bit of health, but I don't know. I don't
have a good feel for how bad it's gonna be in this spot, actually.
He's got, I mean, they're zerked. They're pumping out the damage right now.
Oh, might get this. Might get it.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad at all.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. After that, I don't foresee any problem here. Yep, his berserkers finish it off real quick. But is it progress?
Ooh, yes.
So there we go. We have 2 of our required key items on the moon tonight. So Moon is not haunted. Moon is in fact loaded. Unfortunately,
Beowulf, yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, Bahamut has not been checked. I imagine he's going to be heading over there directly.
Yep, sure is.
Yep, 2 of the items we were looking for are up on the moon. We don't know where... We still don't know where Waterhag is, and we still do not know where the Baron Castle key is.
So where do you think Waterhag is? I did see earlier in the chat people were hoping it's in the CPU spot. I personally want it to be behind Packet. That is my favorite boss spot everyone forgets about.
Ugh. Do you like fun? Because that doesn't sound like fun to me.
We have very different definitions of fun.
Honestly, I'd like to see Waterhag. I want to see Waterhag and Odin. Like, I don't want to run into Waterhag until that's kind of our last thing we're looking for.
Yep, and we get Plague at the Bahamut spot. I think Plague is my favorite boss just because there's so many ways to go about it. Being, I think, the only flying boss, he is, of course, weak to arrows. There's also several ways you can trick his count spell. You can, if you get a Star Veil off before he does the count spell, he will get very confused and just cast count over and over again. If you kill a character and then revive it, he will get very angry that that character does not have a counter on it and will cast count again, which unfortunately for him resets the count on all the characters.
So worth noting, Smaepdii picked up both Cecil and Hallam from the Earth Crystal spot. Cecil's still a Dark Knight as well, but he's also rocking not double white mages anymore, which is interesting. There's been a lot of fights that double white mages has been the saving grace up to this point in time.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna make the moon more difficult for him when he gets up there. On the other hand, we have seen a crystal sword tonight. I forget if nightdew Smaepdii got that, but crystal sword plus Cecil is pretty much the best DPS in the game. Especially when you throw a berserk in there. Nightdew getting scarily close on the counter, but gets through Plague.
And the Baron key. All three. That is worst case scenario for Smaepdii.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's pretty much gonna take Smaepdii out of the running. I hate to say that as a commentator, but it's true.
You still got to do everything.
That is true.
But,
and we haven't found Waterhag yet.
I mean, at this point, you're just going to do what you need to do. You're going to go up and destroy the super... Actually, no, I take that back. You're going to go liberate Baron Castle, and then you're going to go destroy the super cannon, because you're going to get at least a couple, two bosses as you liberate Baron Castle. And then you're going to go up and destroy the super cannon. And if you don't see it up till that point in time, then you go back, through those three bosses, then you go back to the fourth boss at the top of the tower, trying to avoid doing that if you can. But start with Baron Castle.
Yeah, I think my routing would be very similar if I was in this situation. Yep, looks like we're heading to Baron.
Makes sense.
Yep, you want it because we're still looking for that water hag. Hitting the spots with more bosses is gonna be the best play.
And he killed enough bosses while he was up there. He doesn't necessarily need to grind anymore, so he's in a good spot. Meanwhile, Rosa learns her exit spell, and he's rewarded with a Luca key. Further down the rabbit hole we go.
Oh no.
Although,
well
if Water Hag is there,
if Water Hag is there, it might not be over.
yeah, Water Hag at Luca is kind of the only hope that Smaepdii has at this point. Going to be following up through here, which is fine. But this is what we talk about in following through with your gambles. If you're behind and you're following a quest, go ahead and complete it, because your only hope is just to follow through with it.
Yep. And nightdew fighting King and Queen Eblin here. They are scripted fights, so they will just eventually burn themselves out. But with the levels and equipment nightdew has, it's just faster to take them out himself.
Another lunar boss here. This might be Wyvern.
I think it has... No, we haven't seen Dean Lunars, I don't think.
Yeah, D Lunars. Here it is.
D-Lunars are pretty easy. Being both dragon and undead, they have a ton of weaknesses. Weak to fire, weak to curative items. With 2 white mages, you're probably just going to heal them to death, as silly as that sounds.
And a Fu. I don't think you. Well, do you take Fu at this point? Oh yeah, for poor.
You're at least taking his equipment. Fu comes with very good equipment.
And traded out for the inferior white mage for a white mage who can cast black spells. So I'm fine with.
Yeah, Porum just has really terrible HP growth, which makes her not the best option for the Zeromus fight. And Fu all comes with 2,000 HP ready to go.
And he did get the package. So I'm gonna go check the Baron boss at this point in time.
But
worthwhile to at least check it.
Go ahead.
No, I was done.
Okay. Liberating Baron Castle, and we finally, an hour and 30 minutes into this scene, complete an objective. It happened. I'm so happy.
I never would have guessed that it would have been that long before we completed an objective. And we got a flash of Leviathan there, and he went, nope, don't need it.
Oh, Leviathan's not a water hag, and we don't need key items at this point. We have every key item we need to earn our crystal. Yes, I do believe Inven rolled this seed, so we can blame Inven. Not a terribly useful sword, but we have completed a second objective!
And hey, a big shout out to our tracker, Antidel. doing, I mean, did more than just track the objectives. Let's be realistic here. But finally getting to do some work. Big shout out to you for all your work that you do. I've been counting key items nonstop, so thank you for all the work. And Inven, of course, who is our restreamer. Thank you guys and for the crew behind the scenes. You do all the work. We just get to have fun talking.
Yup. Which I've been enjoying these races so much. They've been an escape from all my problems recently. It's just been great. So many people have worked so hard to get all these restreams up, and I really appreciate everyone. Okay, Uncle Mop gonna waddle his way. I wouldn't be surprised if he, gonna check tower first, just in case Water Hag is here, then you don't have to do the rest. But it's the elements.
Well, we have to destroy the super cannon, so yeah, that's fine. We'll get our objective complete once they blow things up, and we'll move on. But then double check the top.
Inven. Our nightdew close to endgame levels here in this spot, having very, very low HP, one strike, one explosion, and we have completed our third objective, which is our first objective, because English is ambiguous.
Our first objective on the list is our third objective completed.
Exactly. That was a much clearer way to state that.
Oh, and it's dolls. And the problem is, nightdew can't reset. Did not stop and save.
Nope, unfortunately, buffering that uphold just a little too far and walking into the script that triggers the boss fight. But has a foo with Quake, so I don't foresee this taking more than 20 seconds.
So if you're Inven, or if you're nightdew, I'm sorry. Do you... Because he still has to do Twin Harp, Earth Crystal Chain. As far as we know, it's either behind the package, behind the Luca key, or there's one other spot, or the giant. Do you do one of those one-off locations? I mean, what do you do if you're a nightdew?
If it's me, I'm probably gonna check package. I know it's a long cutscene, but it's still gonna be shorter than Giant, I think.
That's right, because Giant is 2 bosses in there.
And also a huge cutscene. I don't know, I think either way is valid, honestly. But as far as nightdew knows, the Water Hag could still be behind an item he doesn't have, like the Earth Crystal. We know that's not true, but nightdew doesn't.
Yeah, we've already peaked what our bosses are in the Land of Summoned Monsters. We've already peaked the Waterfall. We've already peaked in the Mist Cave. So we've seen just about all the bosses except for those handful.
Yep, and we came through Upper Babel, so we've seen both of those bosses. So yeah, what do we got left? We got Package, which it looks like that's where nightdew's going now. We got Giant. Has anyone checked Luca yet? I don't think so.
We have not checked Luca, and And nightdew is turning in. Sandruby says, yes, I do want an edge. We've gotten some great edge equipment.
Yep, we picked up a Murasame earlier. Instead of Sid, I think nightdew has a curse ring, and putting that on Fu will give you some good agility anchoring. So I think that should work out. Oh, and we have a Masamune too, so we do have a lot of good equipment for edge. And using that full moon to back row glitch edge as well. Yeah, seeing that equipment, I'm not surprised nightdew took edge there.
And yeah, he's dodging package for now. So we'll see. Where do you go? He's going giant.
Oh my. Well, the nice thing is, even if it isn't in the CPU spot, this is still really, these two bosses are really good experience. He's especially picking up that edge, trying to slingshot him up. You should not have to grind anymore after you the element spot.
Nah, he'll be good. Meanwhile, Smaepdii is trying to big brain. He has not been up to the moon, does not have the tower key, but is going up the tower hoping that he can make up some time here. Trying to make the big brain play is not going to be successful, unfortunately.
Yep, I don't actually blame him. He knows he's behind. He knows that nightdew's probably full cleared the moon at this point. It's not a bad play in his situation. Unfortunately, having the foresight of a viewer, we know it's not going to pan out.
I believe that is our water hag.
Oh my.
We have a water hag in the giant. Oh.
Yep, and being a scripted fight, the fact that this spot has a gajillion HP is not going to matter. We just need to bop the water hag 3 times and he will give up.
Is Edge low enough to get slingshotted? Because I know he starts at level 25.
I'm not sure. I feel like it, but I'm not 100% sure. Either way, I would not be surprised if nightdew goes just straight to Zeromus. He has Fu and Rosa to heal. He has Kane and Yang to do berserking. He has the tools to take down Zeromus.
Oh yeah, he gained 18 levels. Absolutely. He is fine.
So we have completed. We had no objectives complete at an hour and a half. But like 15 minutes later, we're going to have them all completed. What a seed, Inven. What a seed. All the key items we needed clustered together on the moon, and water hag on the...
And I think much paranoia in chat is right. I think nightdew feels he's probably behind, which is why he made that gamble. So he's running as quickly as he can. Now, we know better in this particular straight line race. We are on our way over to Troya. going to turn that pass in, get our 5th objective and the crystal, and we are on our way.
So, would you like to explain our very special surprise to RPG Limit Break viewers that might be new to the Free Enterprise Randomizer?
Oh, I would be happy to. Thank you. Thank you so much for allowing me. I'm honored. So, under normal circumstances, if you have ever played Final Fantasy IV in the past, the final boss is Zemus, who transforms into Zeromus, which is fine. Just fine. He's kind of a generic big bad that pops up at the end of the game, and we're all like, oh, whoa, who's this big bad? I thought Golbez was. Anyway, so Zemus becomes Zeromus. However, in our randomizer here, our community, led by, I think Scala Kitty is the one who's really put forth the effort to archive and get everything together. Zemus transforms into something. Not quite sure what. So the question we all like to ask is, whose butt are we gonna kick tonight?
Yep, Zeromus's stats are the same, his script is the same, but his looks will be brand new.
And it's, again, everything is the same. Absolutely. It's not like we're randomizing that you have to play on your tiptoes and figure out new mechanics every time. No, it's the same fight every time. Same big bangs, same HP refresh mechanics. But it's another fun little thing, similar to the music that we do with the Twin Harp section.
And I would like to mention Shala Kitty, who does all these awesome sprites. It is her birthday today, so everybody say happy birthday.
Oh my god, happy birthday, Scala!
Happy birthday! I hope it was okay I said that. I probably should have gotten her permission first.
All right, his true colors emerged. Let's see what we got. What? That's cheap.
Cheap mess. Oh my gosh, so cute. Many childhood memories of being devoured by that fish.
I was gonna say, like, it looks kind of inconsequential right now, but we've all been terrified of that fish.
It may be a small fish, but it is a powerful fish. I'm not foreseeing nightdew having too much trouble with this fight. He has 2 healers, should he choose to use them. He has some good sources of physical attacks. He can reflect newts with Fusoya if he feels like it. Bar anything shenanigan-y, like a big bang into a Meteo, should have a pretty good time with this fight. I'm enjoying all the fish emotes in chat right now.
I'm glad someone's enjoying it.
Is that a Swedish fish emote? Does someone have a Swedish fish emote?
Yeah.
That is great. I love Swedish fish.
Yeah, RPG Limit Break apparently has a Swedish fish emote. Here we go. First big bang. I do believe this one. Yep, nerf.
We have Nightdew's agility anchoring is pretty good here. Zeromus is not too fast at all, so.
Meanwhile, Smaepdii is playing the hand that he's been dealt, is heading now into Luca Cave, and will be greeted with the bad news shortly.
Yep, it's the right move for him, unfortunately. Pay off.
And that's the nature of randomizer. Sometimes the right move based on what you know isn't actually the right move, but rando gonna rando.
Yep.
Trapdoor grind? He turned what?
And nightdew just doing a textbook Zero misfight, cheap misfight. Actually taking the time to nerf the big bangs, using direct cast of nukes with Fu.
His melee fighters are all, zerked, so they're going to town, and then he can just kind of stand on Fu, waiting for that big bang to come through, or waiting for the right time to get the nuke in. And Meteo phase.
So it will be over very soon. A few more punches from Yang and pokes from Kane.
That's it. GG's to nightdew. Winner 3-2 is officially moving on into the bracket stages. GG's to nightdew, and I do believe we are joined now by nightdew.
Yes. Thank you very much. Is it all too apparent that Invenerable rolled the seed?
Yeah, how did it feel when you were an hour and a half and had 0 objectives completed?
Well, hour and a half didn't feel too awfully bad, because I'm pretty sure that was the point where I was at least starting to collect the items on the moon. Now, how did it feel when Evil Wall punched my face in a few times? Not so great.
So, congratulations on making it to the bracket round. Are you excited? Are you going to do any new preparation?
There's definitely going to be some bracket flag practice here, just based on, what's going to happen. We're not going to get these overpowered parties, and what's going on with all that. I was about to, and I did feel a little bit behind, all told. But, what it was, that was an incredibly rude moon. I don't know how, I can't even remember how many times I wiped there.
Yeah, your double white mages and those blink spells really came in handy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. As soon as I saw the third melee in Kane, I'm like, I took Rydia just because, I am not on Team Edward. But I knew, unless I found, Hallam, I had, the full caster party, it wasn't gonna happen. And as soon as Kane showed his face, it's like, well, okay, we are all in on Berserk strats here. So, I was waiting just to see if I had, anything like that Crystal Sword, around, but as soon as I saw it, no Cecil to be seen.
Yep, and it looks like Smaepdii has forfeited. It was a pretty rough seed, but good job anyway. And unfortunately is eliminated from the tournament.
I feel bad. I like Smaepdii.
Yeah, unfortunately, he just had a rough night tonight. Wrong turns, struggled a lot with the Baron Inn, struggled a lot with the Hook bosses, the upper Babel bosses.
Yeah, and I had actually, now that you see the forfeit, Smaepdii and I got a little bit of time to talk about that, and Smaepdii just said something about he wiped a couple times on the Mad Ogre chest, and I kind of related. I was so close to resetting out of that Fabul Gauntlet inside the crystal room, especially the Legend Sword there, and I'm thinking, wait a minute here, I know I've got to get through Dark Knight Cecil here. And Sid and Yong need padding, because I'm not counting on Edward to get a turn in between, before a Dark Wave, honestly.
Yep, and you drew so many of those Liliths with those good EXP.
Oh yeah, and then it was as you said. I mean, this seed was brought to you by the letter B for Berserk and Blink.
There was a point in time where nightdew, you had every one of your characters blinked, and Smaepdii had every one of his characters blinked, and we were talking about putting a seizure warning on the stream because it was just nuts.
Yeah, I mean, what else are you going to do when everything is punching you for 1,500 to 2,000 front row? I would have loved to kept Sid over Edge there. But I had really good ninja swords because Sid did work just soaking hits in the back row.
Do you feel, in retrospect, going through this seed, that gaining that little bit of extra XP and those couple extra levels from that Ordeals fight where you found the gauntlet there, do you think that was the difference? Because Smaepdii didn't get that. He noped out of that.
It absolutely helped, and like I said, I was ready to do it. I'm taking forever on this first fight. Of course, that's before I'm starting to fling Cure 2s and laying just off the holding A strategy, because that's not working. Well, I mean, it is, but it's working slowly. So I'm thinking, okay, what can I do? Well, everything up here, aside from the souls, are undead, and I bought 40 Cure 2s. Let's put them to use. And then kind of looked into the fact that even Eddie was helping out, as we remember that silver weaponry is, you don't run into it much, but silver weaponry good against undead.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, and it just kind of rolled from there. You take through the underground. I'm praying for Cecil, no Cecil to be found. But you get through it, and you take a look at that Fey mark, and then you're like, well, Invenerable rolled this seed. Why should I spend time on Valvolus and CPU here? I have many better things to do. The one thing I would have done differently, probably, is taken 1 or 2 Warlock fights for the grind up on the moon.
And we are joined by Smaepdii. I'm sorry, I know that we all have those that things just don't go right. It was good of you of sticking in there, and we all appreciate your efforts.
Yeah, I was just a little confused. I thought FE stood for Fire Emblem. Could someone tell me what Free Enterprise is? Because I have no idea what this is. What is happening?
Free Enterprise is an open world Final Fantasy IV randomizer.
I'm gonna throw something at both your heads through the internet here.
Save some for Invenerable, because that was a classic Invenerable seed.
No, I knew my back was up against the wall here, playing a runner with the caliber of nightdew tonight, so I knew I had to be absolutely on my game, and that just was the complete opposite of that. So I kept psyching myself out, making wrong decisions, trying to get an edge somewhere, and just nothing was working out, and it just kept getting more and more tilted, and my play just kept slipping more and more. But so it happens. I've been on life support this tournament for the last 3 weeks in a row, so eventually something had to give.
Yeah, like I said, I think we've all been there. You just have those nights where it just all goes wrong.
Hey, but you were the people's champion tonight because nightdew completely
yeah.
ignored hard.
Yeah, how about that gold Bez there? That was super fun.
So what was the harp song?
It was the arena from Final Fantasy VII, the from the Gold Saucer.
Oh, okay. Oh man, I have to go back and listen to that.
Yeah, it's pretty good on the harp. But yeah, that was because I knew once I got Golbez there that progression had to be elsewhere, since Golbez couldn't be blocking it. So I knew that Earth Crystal wasn't going to lead to anything. So I ignored it, and then of course we got the Crystal Sword later, and then Cecil's up there, and I'm like, well, I guess I better go back and do that Gauntlet that I skipped out of. And apparently that Gauntlet was sort of the linchpin from just talking to Nightdew about how all the levels he got there versus me just kind of leaving.
Yeah, I just got a ton of those Liliths, which give a surprising amount of XP for that point in the game. Unfortunately for you, everything was on the moon.
Yeah.
Like, everything except the water hag, which was in the giant.
Yeah, and I just got the Darkness Crystal, like, what, 5 minutes before Nightdew finished?
That was an incredibly brutal seed. Honestly, it was not fun. I mean, it was fun, but not.
Oh no, it was absolutely fun. But yeah.
Anyone else got anything to add?
No, just congratulations again, Nightdew. Smaepdii, I'm sorry to say that it kind of takes you out of the tournament, but at least you guys were able to compete in blood sport for all of our entertainment tonight. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for being a good sport, Smaepdii.
Oh, absolutely. No, it was a joy. I'm honestly proud that it even got this far in the tournament. This is the furthest I've ever gotten in a free enterprise tournament. So I will take that and go back to the shadows where I'm just kind of running things from the background. And if you can't be an admin, I guess.
Okay,
we still love you for it.
Thank you. Nightdew, best of luck in the tournament. You're a fantastic runner. I'm expecting great things from you, man. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Smaepdii, you're rolling the next seed that Nightdew runs, right?
Oh, 100%.
I accept.
That's not even a question.
Well, thanks to both of you, and with that, we have another race in the play-in rounds that is currently in progress over on the FF4FE channel, so we are going to send you over there shortly. Thank you so much, everybody, and I hope you had a good time. See you later.